Hello traders everywhere, Adam Hewison here, coming to you from the digital studios of MarketClub with your midday market report for Monday the 4th of August. Well, we have green triangles pretty much across the board in terms of a lot of the major markets except for one market, and that one market is gold. And we'll be looking at that today along with the other 5 markets that we look at. Plus, we'll be looking at Apple and how today's move could be very significant for Apple in the next 3 to 6 months. So let's go right to our portfolio. And let's go right to the portfolio. Here we are. So you can see quite clearly that we have all of the trade triangles in place for all the markets. So starting from here, you can see right to here, and then these last two. So here we are. The Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ, crude oil, all very, very positive. Euro against the dollar, very positive. And Apple, the little yellow box around the green triangle, that's today. That happened today. The only one that really looks no good, and that's gold. And that really doesn't look too good. So let's clear the screen and go to the markets and go through them one by one. And let's start with the big mover today, to me, is Apple. So let's start with Apple. And as you can see, we've talked about Apple. We did a special report on Apple. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend you take a look at it. We've just completed a very, very major base in Apple. This is a huge base. This is the pivot point we talked about before right here, and that's the low point. So we're projecting Apple to move up to the 540, let's say the 550 level to 575. That's what we're looking for on the upside for Apple. So we're right here at 467, 468, let's call it. And that's where we think we're going to go. So I think it's going to be a nice move. I think it's going to take a couple of months to get there, but I think we'll see this market do much better in the future. We've had a lot of kind of base building. If you just look at this, also draw a line like this, which intersects and creates a head and shoulders. So you get a lot of formations here that look very positive for Apple. I think we're going to see this market close higher. So you can see our monthly just kicked in today at 465.75. Weekly is in place and the daily is in place. Not so much the daily is not that important, but this is what's important. The weekly and the monthly. You can see we got out at 29.75 from a short position, which worked out well. We were short from up here, so this is covered right here. And we are on the sidelines, and when this kicked in today, we are now officially long Apple. So let's clear the screen and go to our next market. So let's just do this and go to our next market. We're going to look at the dollar against the euro, and as you can see, we're sort of flattening out a little bit here at the 132.50 level. We still think this market can go higher. Obviously, a major resistance at 134, but all the trade triangles you can see quite clearly are positive, indicating a stronger trend. Looking at gold, this is the one market that has an intermediate term trend that's up, short term daily down, so minus 65. It's more or less a trading range. The one thing to look at, and this is a bit concerning I think for the bulls, is, and this is what we thought would perhaps happen, is you'd have that period of the market went higher and then you sort of rolled over, just like rolled over here and rolling over here. And this is the MACD just turned down, and this is indicating potentially a turn back down for the gold market, potentially. So again, if we draw a trend line, let's just clear the screen quickly, and a trend line from the lows, which is simply to do, just go here, add a trend line, and we just go drive that up there. You can see we've broken this trend line, not a long-term trend line, maybe about 5 weeks, but certainly one that's caused it to lose its momentum. So I would not be particularly bullish here on gold at the moment. So let's see what happens. Crude oil, this again is looking potentially like it wants to go higher. The key levels to look at right now, in my opinion, are the highs that we just recently seen, the 108.90, let's call that the 109 level, and the level we just saw down here, let's call that 102.50 level. So these are sort of where the market's trapped right now between these 2 points, and I think eventually this is going to be taken out, but these are certainly areas that you have to be concerned about. That's where we stand right now. Got a bottom here and 2 tops. If we go through the tops, I think we will. I think the Middle East situation may just explode, and we'll see the market explode to the upside. Given the current movement where we're seeing now, let's say 103 to 109, that's 6, we could see this market going up to maybe the 115 level, especially if we go through this level here. So we've had some nice moves here. We've been long from a good level. You can see from the 97 area pretty much, and we're currently trading 106.91. So pretty much like the way the market's acting. And the next market's going to be the NASDAQ. NASDAQ being helped today by Apple, of course, which represents about 9% of NASDAQ. And this is just steadily trading higher, trading higher. Definitely not a market to be short. You're just trying to pick a top. In a bull market, never a winning idea. Moving on to the CME, the S&P 500. Again, just sort of biding its time. We still like this market. The trend is clearly up. We can see this. We like how we're going to get the measurement for this is simply, we're going to just draw a line across the highs here. That was the last high. This is the low right here. So 1560. We got a high here of 1680. So I would say somewhere 120 points. From there, we'd take 1800 on the upside. So that's where we're looking for this market to go right now. That's the S&P 500. So moving on to the next market, let's just clear that screen. This is the Dow. And again, the Dow is sort of resting a little bit. Dow has been a leader for a while, but it's actually fallen behind NASDAQ. So we think, but the trend is clearly up. You can see all of our indicators here, the weekly here, and here, the monthly kicked in way back here, quite some time ago. You're looking back in really January 22nd, almost 6 months ago, 13,661. And here we are at 15, almost 2,000 points later. So again, the trend is your friend, and the trend continues to be positive for these markets. Hey, this is Adam Hewison. I'll be back tomorrow with a special report, so please stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great trading day.
You can find Adam Hewison as a regular contributor on Bloomberg, Business News Network, CNBC, and Fox Business News.